Hey guys, it's Yang for Locals with my teammate Dominic from Pi for Life Gaming here. What do you have for us today, Dominic?
I'm going to give you guys the Purrely deck profile that's been long anticipated with the new support from Cyberstorm Access. The deck, it can be very insane, and with a boss monster that can be unaffected by your opponent's card effects, it can be a very big annoyance, and it gets surprisingly like OTK pretty easily too, and I can explain a little bit as we go along.
Okay, let's see it.
So first and foremost, obviously the main guy here, Purrely. So on summon, you excavate the top 3, and then you add a Purrely spell or trap that you reveal, and then the rest go on the bottom of the deck. That's not once per turn. So anytime you summon it, you do that. And there are times where you will whiff and not hit anything, so being able to do that multiple times is nice. Then while he's on the field, you can reveal a Purrely quick play spell, and then exceed summon into a Purrely monster that mentions that name.
Quick play spell.
Yeah, so there's all different kinds of quick plays that they play that coincide with the Exceeds monsters, and when we get to the extra deck, I'll show you which ones coordinate with which.
Okay.
And then we have the new Purrely. So on summon, what she does is adds a Purrely card that is not a quick play spell. Unfortunately, that is once per turn, and the way that she exceeds summons is by targeting a Purrely quick play spell in the graveyard.
Yep. And
that is also once per turn.
Cool.
And then this deck plays a lot of hand traps, primarily level 1 hand traps. So we're playing Valor and Droll. Valor's just generically good outside of the Kashtira matchup, because it has to go to grave. And same thing with Droll, but most likely you're going to Droll before they hit the Arise Heart on field. But Droll, overall, this format's going to be very good with the increase in Super Heavy Samurai, this deck, and even can hurt Kashtira and Branded to an extent. So
the level 1s, because your XC monsters are rank 1s, I'm assuming?
Yes, we play a couple of rank 1s. I'm also playing one Link 1 that requires a level 1 monster. Okay. So, because there are some spell cards too that require to have a card on field in order to activate. So if you have to, you can just normal summon these. It's not ideal, but you are going to have hands where you need to do that. Okay. Then for other hand traps, we're playing 3 Ash because we want to FTK the Branded Fusion. Yeah. And then 2 Ghost Ogre. Ghost Ogre's increased in popularity as well because, again, Super Heavy Samurai. And even Ghost Ogring a Noir when they get under 5 materials is very good. But that also will lead to trigger some of their other spells and traps. But
you could Ghost Ogre to My Friend Purrely, right?
Yeah, you can Ghost Ogre My Friend Purrely or even the Purrely. But ideally, My Friend is the big one. Yeah. And then for a sub-engine, I'm playing the Dark Worlds. Ideally, I want these to be 2 snow because when they're because the discards with the quick play spells are not cost. So you could discard the Brow, and Brow lets you draw a card, but Snow helps you deck thin a little bit. So you can Snow discard, add another Snow, and then add Brow. Yeah. So that's a little more ideal to play, but 3 Brow has still been very good for me. Anytime I see it in my hand, I discard it. My draws have been the same. Yeah. It's always a +1. Yep. That's it for monsters. So now we're going to do the spells. So My Friend Purrely is a continuous spell. Once per turn, you can pay 500. Then you reveal 3 Purrely cards, and your opponent randomly chooses one. So usually you're going to be revealing 3 of the same name that you don't have, or of a name you do have.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be different names.
Right. And then if a Purrely Exceeds monster is destroyed while this is on the field, then you can add 3 quick plays from your graveyard with different names back to your hand. So it's good recursion as well. So very good card. One of the best cards in the deck. And then for the quick plays, we're maining 3 of each of them. So we got the new Sleepy Memory, which is arguably one of the better ones because it doesn't require you to have a monster on the field. So it prevents Sleepy Memory on activation. You don't take any damage the first time that you would. And then as a secondary effect, right after that, you discard a card and summon a Purrely from deck. So these all help you get to your Purrely. Every single one of these has that.
The discard one to special summon one.
Yeah, I think it says level 1 Purrely, which, I mean, they're both level 1.
They're both level 1, so...
And then they all have effects when they're attached as well. So Sleepy Memory, when it's attached to a Purrely Xyz, it lets you draw a card on your opponent's standby phase per copy of this. And it does treat it as an activation because it gives it that effect for a monster effect. And all of them do that too. And then probably the second best one is Pretty Memory, because it also doesn't need a monster for you to get started. It
just gains life points and activates.
Right. You both players gain 1,000, and then the material effect is once per turn. You can send another card on your field to the graveyard, and then you attach a card on your opponent's field to your Purrely Xyz as material.
Okay.
So it's like a Cyber Dragon Infinity in that aspect. Delicious Memory, you choose a monster, or you choose a card on the field, and then the next time it would be destroyed by battle, it's saved that time. And then as a material, it makes your Purrely Xyz gain 300 attack and defense for every material that it has. So normally when you summon Noir, it's going to have at least 6 materials. So that's 1,800 attack and defense boost to it when it's already 2,800 defense.
Okay.
And then Happy Memory, you choose a card on the field, and the next time it would be destroyed by card effects. It's not.
So these two are like protection, like Runic Slumber.
Right, exactly. Okay. So they require to have a card on field.
Yep.
And then the material effect is it gives the Purrely Xyz monster +1 attack in addition to its normal attack.
Okay.
And all these do come up in their own sense, but the main thing is like being materials for your Purrely Xyz. And then the last 2 Purrely cards that I'm playing, I'm only playing 1 Street. It may bump up to 2 as the format develops, but with the way I'm playing it, I don't need to. So the first time, well, when you summon a Purrely monster, your opponent cannot target it with card effects that turn. And then if a Purrely is sent to the grave by your opponent's card, then you get to, I forget that fact, actually. If it leaves the field by your opponent, then you summon a level 1 Purrely from deck or grave.
So I think it's Kaiju.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
And then during the end phase, you get to attach a Purrely quick play spell from your deck to your Purrely monster, which is very nice.
Nice.
And then Leap is the rank up card for the deck. So you target so basically you're going to target one of your rank 2 Purrelys and then rank it up into Noir in the draw or standby phase. Primarily standby phase because you're going to have Sleepy Memory and you want to do multiple draws. And then when it's in the grave, you can banish it and target 3 Purrely monsters, I believe, and shuffle them into the deck. I believe it's just Purrely, 3 Purrely monsters. So it helps with resource game there too as well.
Cool.
Then the last 2 cards we're playing are 2 Thrust and a Talents. They're just too good not to play this format. There's so many monster effects that are relevant, and we're going into a hand trap heavy format again. So these are going to be very relevant. So that's it for the main deck. We'll go into the extra deck.
Yep.
So I'm playing 2 Plump. This one coincides with Delicious Memory. And so once per turn, you can target 2 spell or traps in either graveyard and attach it to it as material. And it's a quick effect if Delicious Memory is a material under it.
Okay.
And then they all, like, these all rank 2s have a secondary effect for, like, you can use the secondary effect up to 3 times per turn if you activate a quick play spell. But real quick, I'll go over like what each one does normally. Beauty, if an effect monster, you can target an effect monster and negate its effects for the turn, and that's a quick effect if Pretty Memory is attached.
Yep.
And then Happiness, it's
Happy Memory.
Yeah, it goes with Happy Memory.
Yeah,
and when it's destroyed at the end of the damage step, if it battles, you get to add a Purrely card from your deck, and then you get to have the attack of an opponent's monster.
Okay.
So for the 3 times per turn, Plump lets you, for all of them get to attach the quick play spell up to 3 times per turn that you activate. And then for Plump, it's a non-targeting banish for your opponent's monsters. For Beauty, it changes the battle position of your monster. And then for Happiness, you return a spell or trap that your opponent has back to their hand.
Oh, okay.
So these 2 are good spot removal, and this one is a nice, like, stopping your opponent from killing you if that happens to come about.
Okay.
And then for the big boss monster, Noir, I'm not playing the big Happiness because I just don't see a need to play it right now, but maybe down the line we will. But Noir, while it has 5 or more materials, is unaffected by all your opponent's card effects. And then while it has a Purrely monster, a Purrely level 1 monster as a material, it's a quick effect, shuffle a card on the field or graveyard back to the bottom of your opponent's deck. Yep. So it's a big annoyance, and it's always going to be very big. Then for some of the utility cards, we're playing Sylvan Princess Sprite. This helps dig for more spells and traps if you need to. It's come up a few times. Like, I've used it a decent amount so far in my time playing. And it's also 1800 attack, so like it can beat over a couple things. Assembled Nightingale. This helps just to make Zeus mainly. 4 material Zeus is always very nice. And then Ensemble Robin. This one I end on a lot on my first turn boards if I get 3 Purrely monsters, because it's not a once per turn bounce a special summon monster. So that's also always very nice. And then Downard, because we play a lot of rank 1 and 2 monsters.
Yep.
And then
material.
2 Zeus, because it's an Xyz deck and Zeus is very good. Then the last 2 extra deck monsters, I'm playing Anima because people seem to forget that this card exists and they'll put it in the wrong zone. And then so you could just link away a Purrely, put this out, and then suck up a monster. Or at least like bait out a negate or something. So that's nice. And then Protector of the Agents Moon. So this card is a once per turn spot removal, like kind of like Scrap Dragon, but you send a fairy on your field to the grave and destroy a card on your opponent's field. Okay. The first effect to search Sanctuary in the Sky never comes up.
So utility.
Yep. Okay. And then for side deck, 2 Vanity Fiends. Shout out to Yang for letting me borrow these until I get a second one. This is a funny card to put in going first, because ideally you don't use your normal summon to get your combo started, but if you need to get use your normal summon, then this card obviously becomes irrelevant. But if you don't use your normal summon, then you could just tribute summon one of your Purrelys on top of having Noir on the field, and you just watch your opponent squirm a little bit. Nice. So the next card is Santa Claus. This is a better kaiju for the deck to play, because it summons in defense. So it helps make Zeus easier, but also because of beauty, being able to change your opponent's monster's battle position, you can switch this to attack. And then with Delicious Memory, you can prevent it from being destroyed by battle once, and so that can help with OTKing with Happiness. Or even just having the Happy Memory, because Happy Memory lets you attack numerous times.
Also, if you open multiple Santa Claus, they can control multiple, so
it's
stuck in your hand.
And then 2 Dark Ruler, only 2 because it's searchable by Thrust, but it's very good going second against Super Heavy Samurai. 3 Cosmic, because spells back row really hurts this deck, so we want to get rid of those. And then 1 Storm and Feather Duster, again, back row removal, and even like the field removal, if they decide to just leave their stuff in attack position, can be really good too. Then the last card in my side is 3 Grave of the Super Ancient Organism, because we don't play anything higher than level 1. Okay. So this kills Kashtira, this kills Despia. Yep. Like, it hurts all those decks very bad.
Awesome deck profile. Thank you guys. If you guys have any comments, leave it down below, and like and subscribe. And I'll leave the Pi for Life Teen channel link. Please check it out in the description. Bye-bye.